Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Global Bloomsday gathering taking place in Montreal, part of our 4-day Bloomsday celebrations, sponsored by McGill's Community for Lifelong Learning. Our Ulysses reading is from Circe and is coming to you from the Westmount Public Library, thanks to Donna Locke. Technological expertise is provided by Miss Edgar's and Miss Cramp's School, Westmount, in the persons of Lauren Aslin, Director of Information Technology and Curriculum Integration, and Douglas Scott, Network Administrator. Our readers today are Christopher Moore, who last May took a place on the Montreal Mirror's Top 10 Local Actors. She frowns with lowered head. Lynch, laughing, slaps Kitty behind twice.
Like that! Pandybat!
Twice loudly, a pandybat cracks. The coffin of the pianola flies open. The bald little round jack-in-the-box head of Father Dolan springs up. Father Dolan.
Any boy want flogging? Broke his glasses, lazy idle little schemer. See it in your eye.
Mild, benign, rectorial, reproving. The head of Don John Conmee rises from the pianola coffin. Don John Conmee.
Now, Father Dolan, now I'm sure that Stephen is a very good little boy.
Zoe, examining Stephen's palm.
Woman's hand.
Stephen murmurs.
Continue. Lie. Hold me. Caress. I never could read his handwriting except his criminal thumbprint on the haddock.
Zoe.
What day were you born?
Stephen.
Thursday, today.
Zoe.
Thursday's child has far to go.
She traces lines on his hand.
Line of fate. Influential friends?
Florrie pointing.
Imagination.
Zoe.
Mount to the moon. You'll meet with
She peers at his hands abruptly.
I wouldn't tell you what's not good for you. Or do you want to know?
Bloom detaches her fingers and offers his palm.
More harm than good. Here, read mine.
Bella.
Show?
She turns up Bloom's hand.
I thought so. Knobby knuckles for women.
Zoe, peering at Bloom's palm.
Gridiron. Travels beyond the sea. And marry money.
Bloom.
Wrong.
Zoe quickly.
Oh, I see. Short little finger. Hen-pecked husband. That wrong?
Black Liz, a huge rooster hatching in a chalked circle, rises, stretches her wings, and clucks. Black Liz.
Gluck, cluck, 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 cluck.
She sidles from her new-laid egg and waddles off. Bloom points to his hand.
That wheel there is an accident. Fell and cut it 22 years ago. I was 16.
Zoe.
I see, says the blind man. Tell us news.
Stephen.
C moves to one great goal. I am 22 too. 16 years ago, I, 22, tumbled. 22 years ago, he, 16, fell off his hobby horse.
He winces.
Hurt my hand somewhere. Must see a dentist. Money?
Zoe whispers to Florrie. They giggle. Bloom releases his hand and writes idly on the table in backhand, penciling slow curves. Florrie.
What?
A hackney car, number 324, with a gallant buttocked mare, driven by James Barton, Harmony Avenue, Donnybrook, trots past. Blazes Boylan and Lenehan sprawl swaying on the side seats. The Ormond Boots crouches behind on the axle. Sadly over the cross blind, Lydia Douce and Mina Kennedy gaze. The Boots, jogging, mocks them with thumb and wriggling worm fingers.
Have you the horn?
Bronze by gold, they whisper. Zoe to Florrie.
Whisper.
They whisper again. Over the well of the car, Blazes Boylan leans, his boater straw set sideways, a red flower in his mouth. Lenehan, in a yachtsman's cap and white shoes, officiously detaches a long hair from Blazes Boylan's shoulder.
Oh.
Lenehan.
What do I hear? Behold, were you brushing the cobwebs off a few quims?
Boylan, sated, smiles.
Plucking a turkey.
Lenehan.
A good night's work.
Boylan, holding up 4 thick, bluntungulated fingers, winks.
Blazes, Kate. Up to sample your money back.
He holds out a forefinger.
Smell that.
Lenehan smells gleefully.
Oh, lobster and mayonnaise. Oh.
Zoe and Florrie laugh together. Boylan jumps surely from the car and calls loudly for all to hear.
Hello, Bloom. Mrs. Bloom up yet?
Bloom, in a flunkey's plum plush coat and knee breeches, buff stockings and powdered wig.
I'm afraid not, sir. The last articles.
Boylan tosses him 6pence.
Here, to buy yourself a gin and splash.
He hangs his hat smartly on a peg of Bloom's antlered head.
Show me in. I have a little private business with your wife. You understand?
Thank
Bloom.
you, sir. Yes, sir. Madam Tweedy is in her bath, sir.
Marion.
He ought to feel himself highly honoured.
She plops splashing out of the water.
Raoul, darling, come and dry me. I'm in my pelt. Only my new hat and a carriage sponge.
Boylan, a merry twinkle in his eye.
Topping.
Bella.
What? What is it?
Zoe whispers to her. Marion.
Let him look, the pshog, pimp, and scourge himself. I'll write to a powerful prostitute of Bartholoma, the bearded woman, to raise wheels out of him in an inch thick and make him bring me back a signed and stamped receipt.
Bella laughing.
Oh!
Boylan to Bloom over his shoulder.
You can apply your eye to the keyhole and play with yourself while I just go through her a few times.
Bloom.
Thank you, sir, I will. Or may I bring 2 chums to witness the deed and take a snapshot?
He holds an
Vaseline,
ointment jar.
Orange flower, lukewarm water.
Kitty from the sofa.
Tell us, Florrie. Tell us. What?
Florrie whispers to her, whispering love words, murmur, lip-lapping loudly, polypismic plop-slop. Mina Kennedy, her eyes upturned.
Oh, it must be like the scent of geraniums and lovely peaches. Oh, he simply idolizes every bit of her, stuck together, covered with kisses.
Lydia Douce, her mouth opening.
Yum, yum. Oh, he's carrying her round the room doing it. Ride a cock horse. You can hear them in Paris and New York, like mouthfuls of strawberries and cream.
Kitty, laughing. Boylan's voice, sweetly, hoarsely, in the pit of his stomach.
Good luck.
Marion's voice, hoarsely, sweetly rising to her throat.
Oh, shakis mapushka, nana pukak.
Bloom, his eyes wildly dilated, clasps himself.
Show, hide, show, plough her. More, shoot.
Bella, Zoe, Florrie, Kitty. Lynch points.
The mirror up to nature.
He laughs. Stephen and Bloom gaze in the mirror. The face of William Shakespeare, beardless, appears there, rigid in facial paralysis, crowned by the reflection of the reindeer antlered hat rack in the hall. Shakespeare in dignified ventriloquy.
'Tis the loud laugh bespeaks the vacant mind.
To Bloom.
Thou thoughtest as how thou wastest invisible. Gaze.
He grows, he crows with the black capon's laugh.
Iago, how my old fellow choketh his Thursday moment. Iago, go.
Bloom smiles yellowishly at the whores.
When will I hear the joke?
Zoe.
Before you're twice married and once a widower.
Bloom.
Lapses are condoned. Even the great Napoleon, when measurements were taken near the skin after his death.
Mrs. Dignam, widow woman, her snub nose and cheeks flushed with death talk, tears, and Tunny's tawny sherry, hurries by in her weeds, her bonnet awry, rouging and powdering her cheeks, lips, and nose, a pen chivying her brood of signets. Beneath her skirt appear her late husband's everyday trousers and turned-up boots, large 8s. She holds a Scottish widow's insurance policy and a large marquee umbrella under which her brood runs with her. Patsy, hopping on one short foot, his collar loose, a hank of pork steaks dangling. Freddie whimpering. Susie with a crying cod's mouth. Alice struggling with the baby. She cuffs them on, her streamers flaunting aloft. Freddie.
Ah, Ma, you're dragging me along.
Susie.
Mama, the beef tea is fizzing over.
Shakespeare with paralytic rage.
Rita Seeker who kill a fast!
The face of Martin Cunningham, bearded, refeatures Shakespeare's beardless face. The marquee umbrella sways drunkenly. The children run aside. Under the umbrella appears Mrs. Cunningham in merry widow hat and kimono gown. She glides sidling and bowing, twirling Japanesely. Mrs. Cunningham sings. Martin Cunningham gazes on her, impassive.
Immense, most bloody awful demi-rep.
Stephen.
Et exalbuntur cornua iusti. Queens lay with prize bulls. Remember Pasiphae, for whose lust my grand old gross father made the first confession box. Forget not Madame Gristle Stevens, nor the swine scions of the house of Lambert. And Noah was drunk with wine, and his ark was open.
Bella.
None of that here. Come to the wrong shop.
Lynch.
Let him alone, he's back from Paris.
Zoe runs to Stephen and links him.
Oh, go on. Give us some parlez-vous.
Stephen claps hat on head and leaps over to the fireplace, where he stands with shrugged shoulders, finny hands outspread, a painted smile on his face. Lynch pummeling on the sofa. Stephen gabbles with marionette jerks.
1,000 places of entertainment to expenses your evenings, with lovely ladies, sailing, gloves, and other things, perhaps her heart. Beer chops, perfect fashionable house, very eccentric, where lots, cocottes, beautiful dressed, much about princesses like, are dancing can, and walking there. Parisian clowneries, extra foolish for bachelors, foreigners the same, if talking a poor English, how much smart they are on things love and sensations voluptuous. Misters, very select, for is pleasure must to visit heaven and hell show with mortuary candles, and they tear silver which occur every night. Perfectly shocking, terrific of religions, things mockery seen in universal world. All chic womans which arrive full of modesty then disrobe and squeal loud to see vampire man debauch none fresh young with dessous troublants.
He clacks his tongue loudly.
Ooh la la, ce pif qui la.
Lynch.
Vive le vampire!
The whores. Stephen, grimacing with head back, laughs loudly, clapping himself.
Great success of laughing. Angels, much prostitutes like, and holy apostles, big damn ruffians. Demi-mondaine, nicely handsome, sparkling of diamonds, very Emile costumed. Or do you are fond better what belongs they modern pleasures turpitude of old mans?
He points about him with grotesque gestures, which Lynch and the whores reply to.
Cowchuck statue woman reversible, or life-size tom-ti-toms, virgins, nudities, very lesbic the kiss 5, 10 times. Enter gentlemen, to see in mirrors every position, trapezes, all that machine, there besides, also if desire act awfully bestial. Butcher's boy pilutes in warm veal liver, or omelette on the belly, pièce de Shakespeare.
Bella, clapping her belly, sinks back on the sofa with a shout of laughter.
An omelette on the... omelette on the...
Stephen, mincingly.
I love you, sir darling. Speak you Englishman tongue for double entente cordiale. Oh yes, mon loup. How much cost? Waterloo, water closet?
He ceases suddenly and holds up a forefinger. Bella laughing.
Omelette.
The whores laughing.
Encore!
Stephen.
Mark me, I dreamt of a watermelon.
Zoe.
Go abroad and love a foreign lady.
Lynch.
Across the world for a wife.
Florrie.
Dreams go by contraries.
Stephen extends his arms.
It was here. Street of harlots in Serpentine Avenue, Beelzebub showed me her, a fubsy widow. Where's the red carpet spread?
Bloom approaching Stephen.
Look.
Stephen.
No, I flew, my foes beneath me, and ever shall be world without end.
He cries.
Partez! Free!
Bloom.
I say look.
Stephen.
Break my spirit, will he? Oh, merde alors.
He cries, his vulture talons sharpened.
Hola! Hilly-ho!
Stymon Daedalus' voice hilloes in answer, somewhat sleepy, but ready.
That's
Simon.
all right.
He swoops uncertainly through the air, wheeling, uttering cries of hearkening on strong, ponderous buzzard wings.
Ho, boy, are you going to win? Pshaw! Stable with those half-castes. Wouldn't let them within the ball of an ass. Head up. Keep our flag flying. An eagle gules valant in a field argent displayed. Ulster king at arms. High hoop!
He makes the beagle's call, giving tongue.
Hi, boy!
The fronds and spaces of the wallpaper file rapidly across country. A stout fox drawn from covert, brush-pointed, having buried his grandmother, runs swift for the open, bright-eyed, seeking badger earth under the leaves. The pack of staghounds follows, nose to the ground, sniffing their quarry, beagle baying, burbling to be blooded. Ward Union huntsmen and huntswomen live with them, hot for a kill. From 6 Mile Point, flat house 9 miles strong, follow the foot people with knotty sticks, salmon gaffs, lassos, flock masters with stock whips, bear baiters with tom-toms, toreadors with bull swords, grey negroes waving torches. The crowd bowls of dicers, crown and anchor players, thimble riggers, broadsmen. Crows and touts, horse bookies in high wizard hats, clamour deafeningly. The crowd.
The card of the races, racing
Got
card.
10 to
Tommy
1
on the clay here, Tommy on the
Try luck on
clay.
spinning Jenny.
10 to 1.
I'll give 10 to 1.
10 to 1, bar 1.
A dark horse, riderless, bolts like a phantom past the winning post, his mane moon foaming, his eyeballs stars. The field follows, a bunch of bucking mounts, skeleton horses, Scepter, Maximum II, Zinfandel, the Duke of Westminster shot over, Repulse, the Duke of Beaufort Ceylon, Prix de Paris. Dwarfs ride them, rusty armoured, leaping in their saddles. Last in a drizzle of rain on a broken-winded Isabel nag. Cock of the North, the favourite, honeycap, green jacket, orange sleeves. Garrett Deasy up, gripping the reins, a hockey stick at the ready. His nag, stumbling on white-gaitered feet, jogs along the rocky road. The orange lodges jeering.
Get down and push, mister.
Last lap.
You'll be home then at night.
Gannet Deasy, bolt upright, his nail-scraped face plastered with postage stamps, brandishes his hockey stick, his blue eyes flashing in the prism of the chandelier as his mount lopes by at schooling gallop.
Parvitas rectas.
A yoke of buckets leopards all over him and his rearing nag, a torrent of mutton broth with dancing coins of carrots, barley, onions, turnips, potatoes. The green lodges.
Soft day, Sir John.
Soft day, Your Honour.
Private Carr, Private Compton, and Sissy Caffrey pass beneath the windows, singing in discord. Stephen.
Hark, our friend, noise in the street.
Zoe holds up her hand.
Stop.
Private Carr, Private Compton, and Sissy Caffrey.
Yet I've a sorely Yorkshire relish for.
Zoe.
That's me.
She claps her hands.
Dance, dance.
She runs to the pianola.
Who has 2 pence?
Bloom.
Who?
Lynch handing her coins.
Here.
Stephen cracking his fingers impatiently.
Quick, where's my augur's rod?
He runs to the piano and takes his ash plant, beating his foot in tripudium. Zoe turns the drum handle.
There.
She drops 2 pennies in the slot. Gold, pink, and violet lights start forth. The drum turns, purring in low hesitation waltz. Professor Goodwin, in a bow-knotted periwig, in court dress, wearing a stained Inverness cape, bent in 2 from incredible age, totters across the room, his hands fluttering. He sits tinily on the piano stool and lifts and beats handless sticks of arms on the keyboard, nodding with damsel's grace, his bow knot bobbing. Zoe twirls round herself, heel tapping.
Dance. Anybody here? There? Who'll dance?
The pianola, with changing lights, plays in waltz time the prelude of My Girl's a Yorkshire Girl. Stephen throws his ash plant on the table and seizes Zoe round the waist. Florrie and Bella push the table towards the fireplace. Stephen, arming Zoe with exaggerated grace, begins to waltz her around the room. Her sleeve, falling from gracing arms, reveals a white flesh flower of vaccination. Bloom stands aside. Between the curtains, Professor McGinney inserts a leg on the toe point of which spins a silk hat. With a deft kick, he sends it spinning to his crown, and jaunty-hatted skates in. He wears a slate frock coat with claret-sit lapels, a gorget of cream tulle, a green low-cut waistcoat, stock collar with white kerchief, tight lavender trousers, patent pumps, and canary gloves. In his buttonhole is a dahlia. He twirls in reversed directions a clouded cane. He wedges it tight under his oxter. He places a hand limply on his breastbone, bows, and fondles his flower and buttons. McGinney.
The poetry of motion, art of calisthenics, no connection with Madame Leggett Burns or Levingston's, fancy dress balls arranged, deportment, the Catty Lanner step. So, watch me. My terpsichorean abilities.
He minuets forward 3 paces on tripping bees' feet.
Tout le monde en avant. Révérence. Tout le monde en place.
The prelude ceases. Professor Goodwin, beating vague arms, shrivels, shrinks, his live cape falling about the stool. The air in firmer waltz time pounds. Stephen and Zoe circle freely. The lights change, glow, fade, gold, rose, violet. The pianola.
2 young fellows were talking about their girls, sweethearts they've left behind.
From a corner, the morning hours run out, gold-haired, slim, in girlish blue, wasp-waisted with innocent hands. Nimbly they dance, twirling their skipping ropes. The hours of noon follow in amber gold, laughing, linked, high hair combs flashing. They catch the sun in mocking mirrors, lifting their arms. McGinney clip-claps glove-silent hands.
Carré, avant deux, breathe evenly, balance.
The morning and noon hours waltz in their places, turning, advancing to each other, shaping their curves, bowing vis-à-vis. Cavaliers behind them arch and suspend their arms, with hands descending too, touching, rising from their shoulders. Ours.
You may touch mine.
Cavaliers.
May I touch your?
Ours.
Oh, but lightly.
Cavaliers.
Oh, so lightly.
The pianola.
My little shy little lass has a waist.
Zoe and Stephen turn boldly with looser swing. The twilight hours advance, from long land shadows dispersed, lagging, languid-eyed, their cheeks delicate with cypria and false faint bloom. They are in grey gauze with dark bat sleeves that flutter in the land breeze. McGinney.
Avant, oui. Traverser, salut, cours de main, croisé.
The night hours steal to the last place. Morning, noon, and twilight hours retreat before them. They are masked with daggered hair and bracelets of dull bells. Weary, they curchy under veils. The bracelets.
Hey-ho, hey-ho.
Zoe, twisting her hand to her brow. McGinney.
Les tiroirs, chaînes de dames. La corbeille, dos à dos.
Arabesquing wearily, they weave a pattern on the floor. Weaving, unweaving, curtsying, twisting, simply swirling. Zoe.
Oh, I'm giddy.
She frees herself, droops on a chair. Stephen seizes Florrie and turns with her. McGinney.
Boulangère, les ronds, les ponts, cheveux de bois, escargot.
Twinning, receding with interchanging hands. The night hours link, each with arching arms in a mosaic of movements. Stephen and Florrie turn cumbrously. McGinney.
Dansez avec vos dames, changez de dame, donnez le petit bouquet à votre dame, remerciez.
The pianola.
Best of all. Brrrr.
Kitty jumps up.
Ooh, they played that on the hobby horses at the nearest bazaar.
She runs to Stephen. He leaves Florrie brusquely and seizes Kitty. A screaming bittern's harsh, high whistle shrieks, groan grouse gurgling, tofts cumbersome, whirligig turns, slowly the room right round about the room, the pianola.
My girl's a Yorkshire girl.
Zoe.
Yorkshire through and through. Come on, all.
She seizes Florrie and waltzes her. Stephen.
Pas seul.
He wheels Kitty into Lynch's arms, snatches up his ash plant from the table and takes the floor. All wheel, whirl, waltz, twirl. Bloom, Bella, Kitty, Lynch, Florrie, Zoe, Jujubee women. Stephen with hat, ash plant, frog splits in middle, high kicks with sky kicking, mouth shut, hand clasp part under thigh, with clang tinkle, boom hammer, tally-ho, horn blower, blue, green, yellow flashes, tofts cumbersome turns, with hobby horse riders, from gilded snakes dangled bowels, fandango leaping, spurns soilfoot and fall again. The pianola.
Though she's a factory lass and wears no fancy clothes.
Close clutched, swift, swifter with glare, blare, flares scudding. They shoot, shoot, lumbering by. Bada-boom, tutti.
Bravo!
Simon.
Think of your mother's people.
Stephen.
Dance of death.
Bang, fresh barang, bang of lackey's bell. Horse, nag, steer, piglings, con me on Christass, lame crutch and leg sailor in cockboat, arm folded, rope pulling, hitching, stamp, hornpipe through and through, bada-boom, on nags, hogs, bell horses, Gadarene swine, corny and coffin, steel shank, stone, one-handled Nelson, two trickies, Frauenzimmer, plum-stained from pram, filling, bawling, gum, he's a champion, fuse blue peer from barrel, Reverend Evensong, love on hackney jaunt blazes blind, cod double bicyclers, dilly with snow cake, no fancy clothes. Then in last witchback, lumbering up and down, bump, mash tub sort of viceroy and reine, relish for tub lumber, bumpshire rose, bada-boom! The couples fall aside. Stephen whirls giddily. Room whirls back, eyes closed, he totters. Red rails fly spacewards, stars all around, suns turn roundabout. Bright midges dance on wall. He stops, dead. Stephen.
Oh!
Stephen's mother, emaciated, rises stark through the floor in leper gray, with a wreath of faded orange blossoms and a torn bridal veil, her face worn and noseless, green with grave mold. Her hair is scant and lank. She fixes her blue-circled hollow eye sockets on Stephen and opens her toothless mouth, uttering a silent word. A choir of virgins and confessors sing voicelessly. The choir.
Liata rutilantium te confessorum.
Jubilantium to Virginium.
From the top of a tower, Buck Mulligan, in party-colored gestures dress of puce and yellow, and clown's cap with curling bell, stands gaping at her, a smoking, buttered split scone in his hand. Buck Mulligan.
She's beastly dead. The pity of it. Mulligan meets the afflicted mother.
He upturns his
Peculiar
eyes.
Malachy.
The mother with the subtle smile of death's madness.
I was once the beautiful May Goulding. I am dead.
Stephen, horror-struck.
Lemur, who are you? What bogeyman's trick is this?
Buck Mulligan shakes his curling cap bell.
The mockery of it. Kint dog body killed her dog's body, bitch body. She kicked a bucket.
Tears of molten butter fall from his eyes into the scone.
Oh, great sweet mother. Epi oinopa ponton.
The mother comes nearer, breathing upon him softly, her breath of wetted ashes.
All must go through it, Stephen. More women than men in the world. You too. Time will come.
Stephen choking with fright, remorse, and horror.
They say I killed you, Mother. He offended your memory. Cancer did it, not I. Destiny.
The mother, a green rill of bile trickling from the side of her mouth.
You sang that song to me. Love's bitter mystery.
Stephen eagerly.
Tell me the word, Mother, if you know now. The word known to all men.
The mother.
Who saved you the night you jumped into the train at Dalkey with Paddy Lee? Who had pity on you when you were sad amongst the strangers? Prayer is all-powerful. Prayer for the suffering souls in the Ursuline Manual. And 40 days indulgence. Repent, Stephen.
The ghoul hyena.
I pray for you in my other world. Get Dilly to make you that boiled rice every night after your brain work. Years and years I loved you, oh my son, my firstborn, when you lay in my womb.
Zoe fanning herself with the great fan.
Oh, I'm melting.
Florrie points to Stephen.
Look, he's white.
Bloom goes to the window to open it more.
A giddy.
The mother with smouldering eyes.
Repent, oh, the fire of hell.
Stephen panting.
The corpse chewer, raw head and bloody bones.
The mother, her face drawing near and nearer, sending out an ashen breath.
Beware.
She raises her blackened, withered right arm slowly towards Stephen's breast with outstretched fingers.
Beware, God's hand.
A green crab with malignant red eyes sticks deep its grinning claws in Stephen's heart. Stephen strangled with rage.
Ah, shite!
His features grow drawn and grey and old. Bloom at the window.
What?
Stephen.
Ah, no, par exemple. The intellectual imagination. With me all or not at all. Non serviam.
Florrie.
Give him some cold water. Wait.
She rushes out. The mother wrings her hands slowly, moaning desperately.
Oh, sacred heart of Jesus, have mercy on him. Save him from hell, divine sacred heart.
Stephen.
No. Break my spirit, all of you, if you can. I'll bring you all to heel.
The mother in the agony of her death rattle.
Have mercy on Stephen, Lord, for my sake. Inexpressible was my anguish when expiring with love, grief, and agony on Mount Calvary.
Stephen.
No dung!
He lifts his ash plant high with both hands and smashes the chandelier. Time's livid final flame leaps, and in the following darkness, ruin of all space, shattered glass, and toppling masonry, the gas jet. Bloom.
Stop!
Lynch rushes forward and seizes Stephen's hand.
Here, hold on, don't run amok.
Bella.
Police!
Stephen, abandoning his ash plant, his head and arms thrown back stark, beats the ground and flees from the room past the whores at the door. Bella screams.
After him!
The two whores rush to the hall doors. Lynch and Kitty and Zoe stampede from the room. They talk excitedly. Bloom follows, returns. The whores jammed in the hallway, pointing.
Down there.
The Zoe pointing.
There's something up.
Bella.
Who pays for the lamp?
She seizes Bloom's coattail.
There, you were with him. The lamp's broken.
Bloom rushes to the hall, rushes back.
What lamp, woman?
A whore.
He tore his coat.
Bella, her eyes hard with anger and cupidity, points.
Who's to pay for that? 10 shillings. You're a witness.
Bloom snatches up Stephen's ash plant.
Me? 10 shillings? Hadn't you lifted enough off him, didn't he?
Bella, loudly.
Here, none of your tall talk. This isn't a brothel, a 10-shilling house.
Bloom, his hand under the lamp, pulls the chain. Pulling, the gas jet lights up, a crushed mauve purple shade. He raises the ash plant.
Only the chimney's broken. Here is all heat.
Bella shrinks back and screams.
Jesus, don't.
Bloom warding off a blow.
To show you how he hit the paper, there's not a sixpence worth of damage done. 10 shillings.
Florrie, with a glass of water,
Where is
enters.
Where
Bella.
is he?
Do you not want me to call the police?
Bloom.
Oh, I know, bulldog on the premises, but he's a Trinity student. patrons of your establishment, gentlemen that pay the rent.
He makes a Masonic sign.
Know what I mean? Nephew of the Vice-Chancellor, you don't want a scandal.
Bella angrily.
Trinity, coming here, ragging after the boat races and paying nothing. Are you my commander here? Where is he? I'll charge him. Disgrace him I will.
She shouts.
Zoe!
Bloom urgently.
And if it were your own son in Oxford?
Warningly.
I know.
Bella almost speechless.
Who are you, incog?
Zoe in the doorway.
There's a row on.
Bloom.
What? Where?
He throws a shilling on the table and shouts.
That's for the chimney. Where? I need mountain air.
He hurries out through the hall. The whores point. Florrie follows, spilling water from her tilted tumbler. On the doorstep, all the whores clustered talk volubly, pointing to the right where the cloud has feared. From the left arrives a jingling hackney car. It slows to in front of the house. Bloom at the hall door perceives Corny Kelleher, who is about to dismount from the car with 2 silent lechers. He averts his face. Bella from within the hall urges on her whores. They blow icky, licky, sticky, yum-yum kisses. Corny Kelleher replies with a ghostly, lewd smile. The silent lechers turn to pay the jarvey. Zoe and Kitty still point right. Bloom, parting them swiftly, draws his caliph's hood and poncho and hurries down the steps with sideways face. Incog Haroun al-Rashid, he flits behind the silent lechers and hastens on by the railings with fleet step of a pard, strewing the drag behind him, torn envelopes drenched in aniseed. The ash plant marks his stride. A pack of bloodhounds led by Hornblower of Trinity, brandishing a dog whip, in tally-ho cap and an old pair of grey trousers, follow from far, picking up the scent, nearer, baying, panting, at fault, breaking away, throwing their tongues, biting his heels, leaping at his tail. He walks, runs, zigzags, gallops, lugs laid back. He is pelted with gravel, cabbage stumps, biscuit boxes, eggs, potatoes, dead codfish, woman's slipper slappers. After him, fresh found, the hue and cry zigzag gallops in hot pursuit of Follow My Leader. 65C, 66C, Night Watch, John Henry Menton, Wisdom Helly, V.B. Dillon, Councillor Nanetti, Alexander Keyes, Larry O'Rourke, Joe Cuff, Mrs. O'Dowd, Pisser Burke, the Nameless One, Mrs. Reardon, the Citizen, Gary Owen, who do you call him? Strange face, fellow that's so like, saw him before, Chapwith, Chris Callanan, Sir Charles Cameron, Benjamin Dollard, Lenehan, Bartle Darcy, Joe Hines, Red Murray, Editor Braden, T.M. Healy, Mr. Justice Fitzgibbon, John Howard Parnell, the Reverend Tinned Salmon, Professor Jolly, Mrs. Breen, Dennis Breen, Theodore Purifoy, Mina Purifoy, the Westland Row Postmistress, C.P. McCoy, Friend of Lions, Hoppy Holohan, Man in the Street, Other Man in the Street, Football Boots, Pug-Nosed Driver, Rich Protestant Lady, Davy Byrne, Mrs. Ellen McGuinness, Mrs. Joe Gallagher, George Lidwell, Jimmy Henry on corns, Superintendent Laracy, Father Cowley, Crofton out of the Collector General's, Dan Dawson, Dental Surgeon Bloom with tweezers, Mrs. Bob Doran, Mrs. Kennefick, Mrs. Wise Nolan, John Wise Nolan, handsome married woman rubbed against wide behind in Clonskeagh tram, the bookseller of Sweets of Sin, Miss Dubidat and Shebidad, Mesdames Gerald and Stanislaus Moran of Roebuck, the managing clerk of Drimmy's, Colonel Hayes, Mastiansky, Citron, Penrose, Aaron Figetner, Moses Herzog, Michael E. Garrity, Inspector Troy, Mrs. Galbraith, the constable off Eccles Street corner, old Dr. Brady with stethoscope, the mystery man on the beach, a retriever, Mrs. Miriam d'Andrade, and all her lovers. The hue and cry, helter, skelter, pelter, welter.
He's Bloom!
Stop, Bloom!
Stop it, robber!
Hi!
Stop him at the corner!
At the corner of Beaver Street, beneath the scaffolding, Bloom, panting, stops on the fringe of the noisy quarrelling knot, a lot not knowing a jot What hi, row and wrangle round the who-what brawl all together. Stephen, with elaborate gestures, breathing deeply and slowly.
You are all my guests, the uninvited, by virtue of the 5th of George and 7th of Edward. History to blame, fabled my mothers of memory.
Private Carr to Sissy Caffrey.
Was it he insulting you?
Stephen.
Addressed her in vocative feminine, probably neuter, ungenitive.
Voices.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he was in Mrs. Cohen's.
What's up?
Soldier and citizen.
Sissy Caffrey.
I was in the company with the soldiers, and they left me to do, and the young man ran up behind me. But I'm faithful to the man that's treating me, though I'm only a shilling whore.
Stephen catches sight of Kitty's and Lynch's heads.
Hail Sisyphus!
He points to himself and the others.
Poetic, neo-poetic.
Voices.
She's faithful, the man.
Sissy Caffrey.
Yes, to go with him, and me with a soldier friend.
Private Compton.
He doesn't have one to thick ear, the blighter. Biff him one, Harry.
Was
Private
he insulting you while me and him was having a piss?
Lord Tennyson in Union Jack blazer and cricket flannels, bare-headed, flowing-bearded.
Is not to reason why.
Private Compton.
Biff him, Harry.
Stephen to Private Compton.
I don't know your name, but you are quite right. Dr. Swift says 1 man in armor will beat 10 men in their shirts. Shirt is synecdoche, part for the whole.
Sissy Caffrey to the crowd.
No, I was with Pirate.
Stephen amiably.
Why not? The bold soldier boy. In my opinion, every lady, for example.
Private Carr, his cap awry, advancing to Stephen.
Say, how would it be, Governor, if I was to bash you in your jaw?
Stephen looks up in the sky.
How? Very unpleasant. Noble art of self-pretense. Personally, I detest action.
He waves his hand.
And hurts me slightly. Enfin, ce sont vos oignons.
To Sissy Caffrey.
Some trouble is on here. What is it precisely?
Dolly Gray from her balcony waves her handkerchief, giving the sign of the heroine of Jericho.
Rehab. Cook's son, goodbye. Safe home to Dolly dream of the girl you left behind, and she will dream of you.
The soldiers turn their swimming eyes. Bloom, elbowing through the crowd, plucks Stephen's sleeve vigorously.
Come now, Professor. That Carmen is waiting.
Stephen turns.
Hey?
He disengages himself.
Why should I not speak to him or to any human being who walks upright upon this oblate orange?
He points his finger.
I'm not afraid of what I can talk to if I can see his eye, retaining the perpendicular.
He staggers a pace back, Bloom propping him.
Retain your own.
Stephen laughs emptily.
My center of gravity is displaced. I have forgotten the trick. Let us sit down somewhere and discuss. Struggle for life is the law of existence, but human philorenists, notably the Tsar and the King of England, have invented arbitration.
He taps his brow.
But in here it is, I must kill the priest and the king.
Biddy the clap.
Did you hear what the professor said? He's a professor of the college.
Cunty Kate.
I did. I heard that.
Biddy the clap.
He expresses himself with much marked refinement of phraseology.
Cunty Kate.
Indeed, yes. And at the same time, with such appetite, trenchancy.
Private Carr pulls himself free and comes forward.
What's that what you're saying about my king?
Edward VII appears in an archway. He wears a white jersey on which an image of the Sacred Heart is stitched, with the insignia of Garter and Thistle, Golden Fleece, Elephant of Denmark, Skinner's and Probyn's horse, Lincoln's Inn's bencher, and Ancient and Honorable Artillery Company of Massachusetts. He sucks a red jujube. He is robed as a Grand Elect Prefect and Sublime Mason, with trowel and apron marked, Made in Germany. In his left hand, he holds a plasterer's bucket on which is printed, Défense d'uriner. A roar of welcome greets him.
Hail!
Edward VII, slowly, solemnly, but indistinctly.
Peace, perfect peace. For identification, bucket in my hand. Cheerio, boys.
He turns to his subjects.
We have now here come to witness a clean, straight fight and we heartily wish both men the best of good luck. Malak Maka Abak.
He shakes hands with Private Carr, Private Compton, Stephen, Bloom, and Lynch. General applause. Edward VII lifts the bucket graciously in acknowledgement. Private Carr to Stephen.
Say it again.
Stephen, nervous, friendly, pulls himself up.
I understand your point of view, though I have no king myself for the moment. This is the age of patent medicine. A discussion is difficult down here, but this is the point. You die for your country, suppose.
He places his arm on Private Carr's sleeve.
Not that I wish it for you, but I say, let my country die for me. Up to the present, it has done so. I don't want it to die. Damn death. Long live life.
Edward VII levitates over heaps of slain, in the garb and with the halo of joking Jesus, a white jujube in his phosphorescent face.
My methods are new and are causing surprise. To make the blind see, I throw dust in their eyes.
Stephen.
Kings and unicorns,
He falls back a pace.
come somewhere and we'll... What was that girl saying?
Private Compton.
Hey, Harry, give him a kick in his knackers. Stick one into Jerry.
Bloom to the private, softly.
Doesn't know what he's saying. Taking a little more than is good for him. Yeah, absent the green-eyed monster, I know him. He's a gentleman, a poet. It's all right.
Stephen nods, smiling and laughing.
Gentleman, patriot, scholar, and judge of impostors.
Private Carr.
I don't give a bugger who he is.
Private Compton.
We don't give a bugger who he is.
Stephen.
I seem to annoy them. Green rag to a bull.
Kevin Egan of Paris, in black Spanish tasseled shirt and Peep-a-Day boy's hat, signs to Stephen. Kevin Egan.
Hello, bonjour, the vieille ogresse with the dents jaunes.
Patrice Egan peeps from behind, his rabbit face nibbling a quince leaf. Patrice.
Socialist.
Don Emile Patrizio Franz Rupert Pope Hennessy. In medieval hauberk, 2 wild geese valant on his helm, with noble indignation, points a mailed hand against the privates.
If those height the verboden be grand pocos of Jenny Joes, todos covered of gravy.
Bloom to Stephen.
Come home, you'll get into trouble.
Stephen swaying.
I don't avoid it. He provokes my intelligence.
Biddy the clap.
One immediately observes that he is of patrician lineage.
The virago.
Green above the red, says he, wolf tone.
The bawd.
The red's as good as the green, and better. Up the soldiers, up King Edward.
A ruff laughs.
Aye, hands up to duet.
The citizen with a huge emerald muffler and shillelagh calls,
May the God above send down a dove with teeth as sharp as razors to slit the throats of the English dogs that hanged our Irish leaders.
the croppy boy, the rope noose round his neck grips in his issuing bowels with both hands.
I bear no hate to a living thing, but I love my country beyond the king.
Rumbold, demon barber, accompanied by 2 black-masked assistants, advances with a Gladstone bag, which he opens.
Ladies and gents, cleaver purchased by Mrs. Percy to slay Mogg, knife with which Voisin dismembered the wife of a compatriot and hid remains in a sheet in the cellar, the unfortunate female's throat being cut from ear to ear. Vial containing arsenic retrieved from the body of Miss Baron, which sent Sidon to the gallows.
He jerks the rope. The assistants leap at the victim's legs and drag him downward, grunting. The croppy boy's tongue protrudes violently. The croppy boy.
Rother's hest.
He gives up the ghost. A violent erection of the hanged sends gouts of sperm spouting through his death clothes onto the cobblestones. Mrs. Bellingham, Mrs. Yelverton Barry, and the Honourable Mrs. Mervyn Tallboys rush forward with their handkerchiefs to sop it up. Rumbold.
I'm near it myself.
He undoes the noose.
Rope which hanged the awful rebel. 10 shillings a time is applied to His Royal Highness.
He plunges his head into the gaping belly of the hanged, and draws out his head again, clotted with coiled and smoking entrails.
My painful duty has now been done. God save the king.
Edward VII dances slowly, solemnly, rattling his bucket, and sings with soft contentment.
On Coronation Day, oh, won't we have a merry time, drinking whiskey, beer and wine.
Private Carr.
Here, what are you saying about my king?
Stephen throws up his hands.
Oh, this is too monotonous. Nothing. He wants my money and my life. The want must be his master for some brutish empire of his. Money I haven't.
He searches his pockets vaguely.
Gave it to someone.
Private Carr.
Who wants your bleeding money?
Stephen tries to move off.
Will someone tell me where I'm least likely to meet these necessary evils? Ça se voit aussi à Paris. Not that I... But by St. Patrick.
The women's heads coalesce. Old gummy granny in sugarloaf hat appears, seated on a toadstool, the death flower of the potato blight on her breast. Stephen.
I know you, Gammer. Hamlet. Revenge. The old sow that eats her farrow.
Old gummy granny rocking to and fro.
Ireland's sweetheart, the king of Spain, daughter Alana, strangers in my house, bad manners to them.
She keens with banshee woe.
Oh hen, silk of the kind.
She wails.
You met with poor old Ireland, and how does she stand?
Stephen.
How do I stand you? The hat trick. Where's the third person of the Blessed Trinity? Soggarth Aroon, the Reverend Carrion Crow.
Sissy Caffrey, shrill.
Stop them from fighting!
A rough.
Our men retreated.
Private Carr tugging at his belt.
I'll wring the neck of any bugger says a word against my fucking king.
Bloom, terrified.
He said nothing, not a word, a pure misunderstanding.
The citizen.
Erin go bra!
Major Tweedy and the citizen exhibit to each other medals, decorations, trophies of war, wounds. Both salute with fierce hostility. Private Compton.
Go it, Harry. Give him one in the eye. He's a pro-Boer.
Stephen.
Did I? When?
Bloom to the Redcoats.
We fought for you in South Africa, Irish missile troops. Isn't that history? Royal Dublin Fusiliers, honoured by the monarch.
The navvy staggering past.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. Yes, oh, make the choir a co-choir. Oh, Beau.
Cast halberdiers in armour thrust forward a pentis of gutted spear points. Major Tweedy, mustached like Turco the Terrible, in bearskin cap with hackled plume and accoutrements, with epaulet, gilt chevrons and sabre-tash, his breast bright with medals, toes the line. He gives the pilgrim warrior's sign of the Knights Templar. Major Tweedy growls gruffly.
Rorke's Drift, up, guards and at them. Maharshal al-Hashbaz.
Private Carr.
I'll do him in.
Private Compton waves the crowd back.
Fair play here. Make a bleeding butcher's shop of the bugger.
Masked bands blare Gary Owen and God Save the King. Sissy Caffrey.
They're going to fight for me.
Cunty Kate.
The brave and the fair.
Biddy the Clap.
Methinks yon sable knight will joust it with the best.
Cunty Kate, blushing deeply.
Nay, madame, the gull's doublet and Mary St. George for me.
Stephen.
The harlot's cry from street to street shall weave old Ireland's winding sheet.
Private Carr, loosening his belt, shouts.
I'll wring the neck of any fucking bastard says a word against my bleeding fucking king.
Bloom shakes Sissy Caffrey's shoulders.
Speak, you. Are you struck dumb? You are the link between nations and generations. Speak, woman. Sacred life-giver.
Sissy Caffrey, alarmed, seizes Private Carr's sleeve.
Haven't I with you? Haven't I your girl? Sissy's your girl.
She cries.
Police!
Stephen ecstatically to Sissy Caffrey.
White thy fambles, red thy gan, and thy quarren's dainty is.
Voices.
Police!
Police!
Distant voices.
Dublin's burning!
On fire! On fire!
Brimstone fires spring up. Dense clouds roll past. Heavy Gatling guns boom. Pandemonium. Troops deploy. Gallop of hoofs. Artillery. Horse commands. Bells clang. Backers shout. Drunkards bawl. Whores screech. Foghorns hoot. Cries of valor. Shrieks of dying. Pikes clash on cuirasses. Thieves rob the slain. Birds of prey, winging from the sea, rising from marshlands, swooping from Ares, hover screaming. Gannets, cormorants, vultures, goshawks, climbing woodcocks, peregrines, merlins, black grouse, sea eagles, gulls, albatrosses, barnacle geese. The midnight sun is darkened. The earth trembles. The dead of Dublin, from Prospect and Mount Jerome, in white sheepskin overcoats and black goat-fell cloaks, arise and appear to many. A chasm opens with a noiseless yawn. Tom Rochford, winner in athlete's singlet and breeches, arrives at the head of the National Hurdle Handicap and leaps into the void. He is followed by a race of runners and leapers. In wild attitudes, they spring from the brink. Their bodies plunge. Factory lasses with fancy clothes toss red-hot Yorkshire bada-bombs. Society ladies lift their skirts above their heads to protect themselves. Laughing witches in red cutty sarks ride through the air on broomsticks. Quaker Lister plasters blisters. It rains dragon's teeth. Armed heroes spring up from furrows. They exchange in amity the pass of Knights of the Red Cross and fight duels with cavalry sabres. Wolfe Tone against Henry Grattan, Smith O'Brien against Daniel O'Connell, Michael Davitt against Isaac Butt, Justin McCarthy against Parnell, Arthur Griffith against John Redmond, John O'Leary against Lear O'Johnny, Lord Edward Fitzgerald against Lord General Fitzedward, the O'Donoghue of the Glens against the Glens of the Donoghue. On an eminence, the center of the earth, rises the field altar of St. Barbara. Black candles rise from its gospel and epistle horns. From the high barbicans of the tower, 2 shafts of light fall on the smoke-palled altar stone. On the altar stone, Mrs. Mina Purifoy, goddess of unreason, lies naked, fettered, a chalice resting on her swollen belly. Father Malachi O'Flynn, in a long petticoat and reversed chasuble, his 2 left feet back to the front, celebrates camp mass. The Reverend Mr. Hugh C. Haynes Love, M.A., in a plain cassock and mortarboard, his head and collar back to the front, holds over the celebrant's head an open umbrella. Father Malachi O'Flynn.
Introibo ad altare diaboli.
The Reverend Mr. Haynes Love.
To the devil, which hath made glad my young days.
Father Malachi O'Flynn takes from the chalice and elevates a blood-dripping host.
Corpus meum.
The Reverend Mr. Haynes Love raises high behind the celebrant's petticoat, revealing his grey, bare, hairy buttocks, between which a carrot is stuck.
My body.
The voice of all the damned. From on high, the voice of Adonai calls.
Dog!
The voice of all the blessed.
Hallelujah! For the Lord God omnipotent reigneth.
Adonai.
God!
In a strident discord, peasants and townsmen of orange and green factions sing,
Kick the Pope!
And daily, daily sing to Mary. Private Carr with ferocious articulation.
I'll do him in. So help me fucking Christ. I'll ring the bastard's fucking bleeding blasted fucking windpipe.
Old Gummy Granny thrusts a dagger towards Stephen's hand.
Remove him. At 8:35 you will be in heaven, and Ireland will be free.
She prays.
Oh, good God, take him.
Bloom runs to Lynch.
Can't you get him away?
Lynch.
He likes dialectic, the universal language. Kitty!
To Bloom.
Get him away, he won't listen to me.
He drags Kitty away. Stephen points.
Exit, Judas.
Bloom runs to Stephen.
Oh, come along with me now, before worse happens. Here's your stick.
Stephen.
Stick, no. Reason. This feast of pure reason.
Sissy Caffrey pulling private car.
Come on, you're boozed. He insulted me, but I forgive him.
Shouting in his ear.
I forgive him for insulting me.
Bloom over Stephen's shoulder.
Yes, go. You'll see he's incapable.
Private car breaks loose.
I'll insult him.
He rushes towards Stephen, fist outstretched, and strikes him in the face. Oof! Stephen totters, collapses, falls, stunned. He lies prone, his face to the sky, his hat rolling to the wall. Bloom follows and picks it up. Major Tweedy loudly.
Carbine in bucket! Ceasefire! Salute!
The retriever barking furiously. The crowd.
Let him up!
Don't strike him when he's down.
Air, who? The soldier hit
The
him.
professor!
You did.
Don't manhandle him.
He's fainted!
The retriever, nosing on the fringe of the crowd, barks noisily. A hag.
What call had the redcoat to strike the gentleman, and he under the influence? Let them go and fight the wars.
The bawd.
Listen to who's talking. Hasn't the soldier a right to go with his girl? He gave him the coward's blow.
They grab at each other's hair, claw at each other, and spit. Ruff, 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 ruff. Bloom shoves them back loudly.
Get back. Stand back.
Private Compton tugging his comrade.
Air, bugger off, Harry. There's the cops.
Two rain-caped watch, tall, stand in the group. First watch.
What's wrong here?
Private Compton.
We were with this lady and he insulted us and assaulted my chum. Who owns the bleeding tyke?
Sissy Caffrey with expectation.
Is he bleeding?
A man rising from his knees.
No, gone off. He'll be all right.
Bloom glances sharply at the man.
Leave him to me. I can easily.
Second watch.
Who are you? Do you know him?
Private Carr lurches towards the watch.
Insulting my lady friend.
Bloom angrily.
You hit him without provocation. I'm a witness. Constable, take his regimental number.
Second watch.
I don't want your instructions in the discharge of my duty.
And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are now signing off the Montreal participation in the Global Bloomsday reading.